He's Pedro Martinez. The new book is Pedro, available where books are sold. There's a lot going on in that book. There was always a lot going on with Pedro, the teams that he was on, certainly with the Red Sox, and looking good today. He got some. What colors do you have on today? Is that like a pink or red or salmon or?
Like salmon and red. I don't know. My wife picked it up.
Yeah, looks good. Looks clean. If you want to get up a little closer to the microphone there.
Sure.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Santo Domingo, West Santo Domingo,
What was it
in the
like?
Dominican Republic. It wasn't easy for my parents. For me, I was too busy playing, and when I went to school, coming back to play in the backyard and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't uh, comfortable as far as economics. It wasn't comfortable for us, but we had meals on the table, even though we didn't realize the amount of stress my mom and dad had to go through to actually get us those meals.
Did you know you were poor?
Yeah, yeah, I knew it, but I was comfortable with it. I didn't mind it because I was a happy kid. I was a happy camper, and I was always surrounded by a lot of cousins, my brother, and always trying to go play ball and eat mangoes and go in the backyard, running around.
But did you guys have equipment? What was the baseball equipment you had?
Milk cartons.
You had milk cartons.
Yeah, those were the gloves.
Those are the gloves.
Yeah.
Did you have baseballs?
Well, my sister's dolls had most of the time would do the job.
So you took the heads off of your sister's dolls?
Yeah.
How'd your sister feel about that?
Well, she appreciates it now.
Did you pay her back?
Big time. I
Yeah.
think. I think she got enough to buy a few dolls.
What was the first thing you bought when you had money?
When I had money, I never had money, but when I first signed,
With the Dodgers?
yeah, I got like $500 for myself. The rest I gave to my mom and dad, and they went on to buy a new house.
What'd you do with the 500? I mean, that had to feel like it's a fortune.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. I actually bought a lot. I um I bought a pair of jeans, Levi's. I bought toothpaste, Listerine. I bought underwear. I bought those mixed juices, artificial flavor. Because I was at the academy, so I had to go right back to the academy, and I wanted to have what I needed when I needed it. And
So just normal things that we take for granted.
yeah,
You had this opportunity to buy a pair of jeans, and you didn't have a pair probably growing up.
I did leftovers,
Oh,
handouts,
hand-me-downs?
hand me downs from Ramon and my other brother who's older.
Where'd you get your competitive spirit from?
Probably from the adversities that I had to overcome. That was the biggest motivation, and also, uh, the struggles that I later on realized my mom and dad were going through to raise us.
Can you pitch? Did you pitch angry?
Yeah, I would say I was a madman pitching
Why?
because it was. I felt like I didn't have any space to fail, and it was always against the wind. It was always uh, so much negativity surrounding what I could do, and I wanted to prove everybody wrong. So I was pretty much fighting with the whole world to prove them wrong.
The stuff that happened with the Red Sox is fascinating to me because there was so much going on there.
Yeah.
You had characters there. You had a great manager who gave you guys freedom. You had Manny. You had Schilling, Johnny Damon. Who was the biggest character? Big Poppy. Who was the biggest character out of all those guys?
I will have to say Millar, number one.
Kevin Millar.
Kevin Millar was the biggest character. And then second will be probably Manny.
But Manny was scary, crazy, wasn't he? Funny, scary, funny, crazy.
Funny, you never know what's going to happen. Funny, you were wondering every day what Manny was going to come up with.
Give me a Manny story I haven't heard.
A Manny story you haven't heard was probably one day I'm in the tub the tub. It's a small tub,
The ice tub?
the ice tub or
Yeah.
hot water
Yeah.
tub. This time for me was hot.
Yeah.
So I'm making sure that nobody goes in my tub when I was in the tub.
Yeah.
So I took as much clothes as I could off, and I stayed in the tub so that nobody would jump in the tub. And Manny passes by and he goes, "Oh, Chiquito, can I jump in?" I'm like, "No, Manny, no, you're not jumping in." He jumps in, Millar jumps in, and then Johnny Damon jumps in. And I'm like, "Oh, no, I need to get out of here." Too many guys for a mini tub.
And Damon used to do the naked pull-ups, right?
Yep.
Okay, was that a morale booster? Did everybody get ready for a game when Damon was? How would you describe Johnny Damon's naked pull-ups?
Well, it's fun. It's crazy fun, especially when you have guys like Millar adding to the pile, Manny, David, Curtis Leskanik is another guy. Oh my God, the monkey walk from Curtis Leskanik is the funniest thing that you can ever see.
Okay, wait a minute. He's walking like a monkey?
Yeah.
Is he naked?
But he's completely naked.
There was
And
a lot of nudity in that
he
Red
sounded like a gorilla chimpanzee. It was so much fun. It was crazy. And then Orlando Cabrera would come over with 10 different handshakes for everybody. So imagine, we were called the idiots. We led the league in hugs. We led the league in handshakes and also in bad hair. Can you imagine that?
I love the Jerry curl that you had.
Yeah, that was, I should have left it.
But it would flow out of out of your hat. I mean, it looked good when you were on the mound.
Oh, yeah, I worked on that. I needed a special stylist to actually get that Jerry curl going.
Did you work on your hair in between innings?
No.
Oh, you did?
No.
Okay.
I was crazy enough to just let it.
He's Pedro Martinez. The new book is Pedro, available wherever books are sold. Did you learn to hate the Yankees?
No. But I learned to enjoy every time I beat them.
But you didn't hate them?
No. No, I didn't hate the Yankees.
Some of your teammates, though, it felt like, Schilling always made it personal with him. Veritek, it felt like that those guys sort of despised the Yankees.
Well, Shield is a man that he doesn't like being like chased around or be told certain things. He'll take it personal, and if he can, believe me, and I love watching Schilling whenever he was about to have a big game or in a big game situation. I'll take the ball off my hands and give it to Schilling in a big game situation. Talk about a guy that was.
You would take Schilling over you in a big game?
Yes. And Derek Lowe as well.
Why?
Because those two guys. Derek Lowe, I don't think realized the importance of a big game. So he was like cuckoo bird, like we call him. And I mean, regardless of the game. And Schilling was the kind of guy that he probably didn't sleep the night before, but he was going to be so ready for the big game. And to me, that was fascinating to see how I could, yes, center a game, but I'll be more relaxed than Schilling was. And Schilling was just 100% and whatever you let him study during the game.
Did you believe the bloody sock?
I saw it. I was right there. Remember, if he couldn't pitch, I was the guy that was going to pick up the ball because we were 1-2.
I remember when he went out to test, he had the special boot on.
I was with him. I was running in the warning track.
And I remember him going out, and I thought it was just Schilling. The cameras were on him, and Kurt always loved the cameras on him. And then he came in, and all of a sudden people said, he's going to try to give it a go. And I went, there is no way. And then when he went out on the mound, did you even know what to expect from Schilling that night?
No, really. No, not that.
But you were ready to go in.
If he wasn't able to pitch, because I was the guy that would probably be pushed in short rest.
Yeah.
I was the experienced guy. I was the ace. So I felt pretty much responsible for whoever could not go. I would probably jump over and say, give me the ball.
You put together an incredible run. I brought up Sandy Koufax.
Yes.
And the fact that you did it in the American League when guys were juiced, your ERA, under 2. I mean, you put together one of the greatest runs in the history of the game.
Yeah.
But did you feel invincible at that moment, at that time?
The 99 season and
Yeah.
probably 2000, I felt like I was on top of the league.
You were 23-4.
Yeah, I knew what the league was doing. I knew the players. I was comfortable in Boston. I was feeling good. I had everything going for me. And that time, I remember specifically in the All-Star game, I said, "You guys are in for a treat with me." At the All-Star game in '99, because you haven't seen me in quite a while in the National League. You're gonna be surprised by what I have, even though I wasn't expecting the results I had, I remember feeling so sure of the things that I could do now that they didn't see when I was in the National League. And I went
Did it
out
bother
there.
you that guys were using performance-enhancing drugs?
Not really, because if you ask me how I would like my challenge to be, uh, for my whole life, my entire life, I would say I wanted it as tough as I could get it, to prove how good I was, to show uh, how capable I was of doing, what I did, and that's the end result. That's how I wanted it. That's how I got it, and I was able to survive, and that's probably why today I can tell you, and I'm being humble, by the opportunity of becoming a Hall of Fame in the first ballot. That's probably why the voters felt like I had a legit chance to be a first ballot Hall of Fame because of the way I did it against those guys that were Jews, like you said.
We'll come back. I want to ask you about the regrettable moment that you write about in the book. We'll continue with Pedro Martinez. The book is Pedro, available in stores where books are sold. 15 before the hour. Dan Patrick Show. Might be too late to ask for
Stay
advice,
close.
Paulie.
Stay close.
So
It's always a problem for a first-time pitcher.
I've
Staying
never
close.
played organized baseball or even
glove?
disorganized baseball before.
Really?
So any advice for my pitching motion? How's my stand?
You're all right.
Okay. Ready?
Keep that knee in. The left knee, keep it in.
What if I can't?
Forget about it. You wouldn't be a hard thrower either.
Okay. Well, that's
Your
for-
motion?
yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be
Jamie
throw-
Moyer? Like Jamie Moyer?
Probably less. A little strong, taller.
Oh my goodness.
Is it possible to throw less than Jamie Moyer?
Okay, I got a guy on first.
Drew for a long time.
Buck? That's a buck? Yeah, of course. You're not supposed to move your knees. Your knees
Oh,
are
I move my
supposed-
knees? I
Yeah,
didn't know I
yeah.
moved my knees.
You can look over with your head only.
So wait, you can't. What's the rule? Anything below the waist?
No, you can't do that.
Just
Once-
pitch, will you?
Once you set up,
Yeah.
you can't.
When can you step off? Can I step off?
Yeah, you could step off,
Okay.
but make sure you don't
Just
move
a-
anything else.
Your right foot has
I'm
to step
shaking
up.
off the side. Yeah.
That's a buck.
I give up.
You've been giving up so
you
many
go.
runs. Oh my goodness, this guy.
Hey, I didn't hire athletes, Pedro.
I don't know. You're watching it on TV every day. Now, this one looks like a
Princey's built like Schilling.
Sandy Koufax. Yeah, that'll be
Coming back.
a lot of doo-doo. But the best mechanics right here. The best mechanics. Let's see.
That was Fritzy.
Couple things on the screen.
That's funny. You're back.
Soon to be a Hall of Famer, Pedro Martinez, joining us in the Man Cave. The book is Pedro, available wherever books are sold. In the book, you're speaking in code here, describing your former teammate, Mike Piazza. By 1993, boy, he could hit. Like so many hitters that decade who found sudden success at the plate, he had added some weight and bulked up that lanky frame of his. His bat started to fly. What are you saying?
No, he just had an unbelievable season, and that's when I was taking off, and I got to see him in A ball, and then Double A, and then Triple A, and Mike was just tearing the league apart in every level that we went together.
You're not saying that Piazza's juicing.
I had no idea at that time that.
Do you
that,
think
that
he was?
existed. I'm not sure. I can't tell you I did.
Did it bother you if teammates were? Did you care that Manny was?
No, no. At that time, like I said, I had a lot in my hands trying to face those guys, and what you did with your body, with your time off, was your business. I know I had a regimen that a lot of people were probably criticizing or critical of my regimen because it seemed like I was never doing what the other teammates were doing. But nobody was 5'11" and 174 pounds to actually sustain a full season going after those guys. So I had to do a little extra. I had to run extra. Like I would run an hour right before I did anything. I would just have to run an hour in order for me to stay healthy. When it hurt, I couldn't take anti-inflammatories because my stomach would bleed. So those are things that you can't tell the media.
Wait, you had ulcers?
No, it was just that I was sensitive to anti-inflammatories, and I had to pretty much deal with the pain or just shut it down when something hurt.
The media could be rough on you in Boston.
Yeah, the media could get
Dan
to you.
Shaughnessy was pretty rough on you.
Yeah, evil eyes Shaughnessy.
Why was he?
He was just negative. Not that he was in any way uh, having anything personal against me, but he was always so negative, and he was digging for stuff that you didn't want to say, and but I respect it. You have to dig. You have to get the quotes. You have to get what you want as a reporter. And one thing I was straight honest. I could tell you, hey, that's a BS kind of question. I'm not going to answer that one and take a hike.
But you have to respect the reporters who show up. They write something about you, and then they'll show up that next day and, go face to face with you. A lot of these guys can write something or say something, and then you don't see them.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to fight Shaughnessy?
No.
Never.
No.
Any
Not-
member of the
not
media?
fight him.
No.
No. There was one time in the Mets clubhouse, someone called me a prima donna because I was in my own program and I was, I was always saying I was hurt and this and that. And I actually got the article and I saw it and I read it and then I went over to him. But you know what? Writers are so good at writing. They can give you different perspective of what they're trying to say by just being smart, and knowing how to write it. And I just went and said, you know what? You're calling me a prima donna. Explain to me why. What makes you more of a man than I am? Why am I a prima donna? And he was quick to say, oh, no, that's just the title of the article I'm writing. I said, well, what do you understand for prima donna? I said, is this prima donna? Look. And I showed him my toe at that time, full of blood. I had just thrown on the side that day to see how it was. So it swelled up right away. It was like full of blood and swollen and really ugly. And I said, here. And I took the clippers and I cut the tape. And I said, look at how it looks. Is that prima donna? Is that what you call prima donna? Is that what you're trying to say? That I'm not hurt? That I'm out there just pretending to be? Look at this. And I go out there every day and I pitch with it.
I wanted to ask you, you talk about the regrettable moment in your career when you shoved Don Zimmer to the ground. Did you make peace with Don Zimmer?
To be honest, only verbally. Only verbally, because I was able to. Thank God they had me at the MLB studios talking about the game in '03, where we lost the lead. And they asked me some questions about it before I went into details about that game. and I was able to say that it's the only thing I would love to erase from my history in baseball because I was left with no choice but to react
Yeah.
at that moment from Zim. He left me with no choice but to react because I see him coming and I see him kind of running towards me and he's mumbling something. So I ask him, and if you watch the video, you can see that I say, what? What? And then the last what is what probably triggers to me that is aggressive because the last what I could hear what he had to say about me. He goes, "I'll tell you what, you son of,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I realized that his intentions weren't precisely to come and talk. And right after those words, here comes a job, and I, and I had to let him go, and that was the only moment I regret. And if you would just know that we both love baseball, probably the same way, we were passionate just the same way, and he reminded me a lot of my dad after I saw him on the ground, and older man, pretty much the same age as my dad. My dad was out blind. The last thing you want to see is that someone throws your dad on the ground, and I understand totally, but I was left with no choice in a critical situation where it's so important. It's so much stress. People think that we go out there and we play, and that's you have fun in the stands, and that's it. No, it brings a lot of stress. We have 50 followers every day that are digging for
Well,
anything you do.
it was reactionary, but I'm glad you were able to at least make peace with Don Zimmer. He's Pedro Martinez going into the Hall of Fame. The book is Pedro, available wherever books are sold. Thank you for stopping by, Pedro. We appreciate that.